Hi everyone, Nick Creticos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and today you're watching me in Bowdabra. Let me know in the comment section if the quality of the video and the audio is okay. We always love to hear your feedback. So today we're going to be using the Bowdabra. This is one of my favorite tools, and I use it especially at this time of year when we're producing lots and lots of bows. So we're going to start off using a couple ribbons. Let me know in the comments section what kind of bows you would like to see. We're here to help you, help inspire you and teach you how to use this device and develop the awesome skill of bow making. So my favorite ribbon this year seems to be this 1.5 inch plaid. For my bows, whenever I design them on wreaths, I always make sure to use wired ribbon. On my fresh design, since I'm also a florist, I like to use silk and satin ribbons, and this tool can do both. So we're going to be making a 3-ribbon bow to start, using some sheer ribbon. This is emerald green sheer ribbon, as well as a 2.5 inch satin finished ribbon. This has wire in it, but it has kind of a plaid emerald green on the side.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome. So my little sister just got out of work, and she's helping me film today. So give her a big round of virtual applause if you can. So what I'm going to start off doing is taking the 2.5 inch ribbon. And you can place the wire, the Bowdabra wire, to start, or you could do what I like to do afterwards, which is kind of place it. It doesn't make a difference. You know what? We'll just show you firsthand how you can place it to start.
Thank you for sharing, Brenda and Edna.
Thank you. So if you guys don't mind letting me know where you guys are from, let us know in the comments section. Also, if you like these videos and want to see more videos of me teaching you how to make bows, share this video. It lets us know that you like these, and it helps us inspire as many people as possible, which you guys know we're all about inspiring here. So our ribbon's going to go this way. So what I like to do is I like to take my wire and place it through the top, just like that. And just place it like that. You can fold it underneath if it gets in your way. I usually don't worry too much about it. And do make sure you cut enough of it so that you have a long enough string or wire to attach it to whatever you're attaching it to. This is a 100-yard spool, so this should last you a pretty long time. And I'll have the links posted in the comments section as well. But if you guys would like to win a roll of scrunchy ribbon, that's these products right here. They come in gold, red, or silver. Comment down below saying I'd like to win, and you may be chosen to choose whichever color you want the best. These seem to work great for hair bows. That's unfortunately not a specialty of mine, so I'll let Sandy show you guys how to create hair bows using this. But basically what you do is just scrunch it up, and it kind of has the texture of not wrapping paper, but kind of like the paper, the cellophane paper that you wrap cookie trays with, or at least my grandma does. So let us know which color you'd like the best in the comment section, and you may potentially win one of these tonight. So we have our wire on our device, and now what we're going to do is start creating some loops and some tails. So I'm going to start off placing it like this, and notice that I pinched it in the middle and twisted it completely around. And you're going to want to do that so that the ugly side, or the side you don't want showing, is revealed. And you'll be able to see that a little bit later on with some other different ribbons that we're going to be working in today. And then what I typically like to do is just drop my roll of ribbons to the floor, and we're going to create a loop. You can make the loop as big or as small as you'd like. And the tails, like I said before in other videos, it doesn't make a difference how big or how small you make them. If anything, I kind of like them to vary in size. So you can have some longer pieces, you can have some shorter pieces. If you want to make your loop bigger, you can just run your fingers through it and pull it out like that and have a bigger loop. So now we're going to repeat this process and over again using different styles of ribbon and different sizes.
We have people from New York, Nebraska, Maryland, Indiana.
Welcome everyone. So give this video a like if you love bows. Bows are one of my favorite things to create, as many of you guys know. And you can separate them at this stage. I typically worry about all of that afterwards. After we get all of our ribbon in place, we can adjust everything. And now I'm going to come back in with this beautiful emerald green and do the same process over and over again, alternating which side we're placing our loops. And if you want a more full bow, you could create more loops and more tails. If you want something a little bit light and airy so you can tuck in picks and decorations, I recommend less bows and less loops. Now we're going to start repeating with the 2.5 inch, and we're just going to repeat this process over and over again until we have the amount of loops that we're trying to go for. So we've just placed another 2.5 inch plaid, and now we'll come back in with another 1.5 inch.
Chrissy asked, can you make the 3-2-1 with Bowdabra?
I believe you can. Yeah, you certainly can. So we've added another plaid. We're going to come back in with the emerald green, and I think we're going to stop after one more layer of each of them. I think that'll give us the desired effect I'm trying to go for today. But the most important part, in my opinion, on bow making is to make sure you twist. So if we can get up close right here, all I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and just completely alternating the ribbon so that the back side is on the top. And that doesn't necessarily make a difference in the ribbons we're using right now, but it's a good habit to get into because most ribbons have a single-sided print. For example, right here we have a ribbon we're going to be working with next, which is this polka dot ribbon. But if you look at the back side, it's not covered in glitter. So we always want to make sure that the pretty side is on top. And the more you twist it, the better the grip it is. So now we're going to come back in with another 2.5 inch.
Bunny says hello and she loves your work.
Thank you.
And Brenda asked, what is the 3-2-1?
So I believe that's when you do 3 loops. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm sure you could do it on this device. 3 loops and then 2 loops and then a single loop in the middle. I can look that up and create it in the next video if that's something you're interested in. So we're going to come back in with our plaid now. And this particular bow is going to work with a lot of the classical colors, but we're having kind of like a fun, traditional, modern twist to it because we're using lots of different types of ribbon in it versus one, which we're going to show you next, which is just a traditional bow, which is one of my favorites. So I'm just layering.
Lavera says, hi, Nick from Wisconsin. Expecting snow tonight.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
Snow. It's been cold enough for snow here, that's for sure. It's been really cold, or at least for us it is. We're here in Massachusetts, but like I said before, let us know where you're from. I find it fascinating. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire, and we have a loop since we kind of folded it over, and I'm just going to gather them together by feeding it through the hole like that. And then pull it to one side. Doesn't matter which side. And now I'm going to pull it really, really tight and take my bow out. So now we have it fastened, but we do want to make sure we tie it in the back, or else what can happen is your bow can fall apart, and you certainly don't want that. So very quickly, we can just simply create a little slip knot and tie it on. So let me know where you're from. Like I said, it's been kind of crazy weather. It's been raining for at least a week straight now, which is just awful. I don't like that. The whole ground is soaked. The second you step inside, your shoes outside, your shoes are soaked. But now what we can do is start separating our loops, fluffing out our bow. You can create a beautiful bow using very premium quality ribbons, and I don't think the bow will be beautiful unless you fluff it. This is the most important part, in my opinion, to creating a beautiful bow, is making sure that there's no creases or any kinks in your ribbon, and that can easily be fixed just by running your fingers through them.
We have people from Tennessee, Alabama, Texas. Welcome, everyone.
Wow, that's awesome. I really want to go to Texas again. Tennessee, me and my friend Skylar hopefully will be going next spring to Nashville. You know, we're here in New England, but we're a very country family. Okay, very easily just fluffing, adjusting, running our fingers through our loops so that they become fluffed and opened. And for the sake of the video, I'm not going to dovetail all of these loops. I will do it off camera and have pictures posted, but I do want to make sure to teach you guys other bows. But this is what it looks like so far. So for an example, to show you what I mean by dovetailing, I don't send my bows out at all unless I take my ribbons, fold them in half, and cut from the middle out towards the wired edge. And what happens when you do that is you create a nice dovetail. So one more we'll do right here. This is the shear. It's not as noticeable on the shear, but I still like to do it to every end of my ribbon. So again, just fold in half, cut from the middle out towards the wired edge, and that's how you develop that nice dovetail. So we can do that to all of them. Place our bow on a wreath, on a swag, on a garland, on our Christmas tree, and so on and so forth. But let me know if you guys like this. Give some hearts if you think this is a very pretty bow. This is one of my favorite styles. I love mixing different types of ribbons together. So this is one of my favorites. But let's create a traditional bow now. So let's do it with the polka dot. This seems to be one of my favorite ribbons of all time. Again, if you want to be entered to win one of the scrunchy ribbons, just comment down below I'd like to win, and then choose your color. Here we have the silver. We also have it in gold as well as in red.
Grace said she's hooked and she loves watching all your ideas.
Thank you. So now we're going to start again with our wire. I'm going to cut a lengthy piece so that we have enough. And like I said, it's a 100-yard spool. It takes a long time to go through that. Just place it in. You can fold it underneath if it makes it easier for you. So if you guys don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. I like to inspire as many people as possible, and when you guys share it, it helps us reach new people and potentially teach them how to create a bow. So I'm just going to cut a length of ribbon. This is going to be used for our tails, and I'm just going to actually place that in right now. Typically I hold off till after, but like I said, it doesn't make a difference really when you place that in.
Lisa says she got here late. Will she be able to watch from the beginning later?
You certainly can. The replay will be posted. But now what I've done is I've taken the side I don't want showing and I've placed it inside of our Bowdabra. So this is the side we don't want showing, but what happens when you gather it together? The pretty side is on top. So always keep that in mind. That's why I suggest you always pinch and twist, no matter if it's one-sided or two-sided. It just makes it easier, and now it's just a force of habit when I do it. It's nothing out of the norm for me. I just naturally want to twist my ribbons like that. So as I said before, the more loops you have, the more full your bow is going to be. So at Christmas time, I like to make my bows a little bit thicker in certain designs, and other designs which are a little bit more woodsy, a little bit more natural. I typically use less loops for those. That way I can come back in with some decorative picks and filler material and kind of tuck it in so that the bow looks incorporated into my design. So far we have 3 on one side, 4 on the other side. We'll do one more of each. I would love to win red, awesome, gold, silver. Seems like everybody likes a different color. I actually took a survey on my business page the other day as to what everybody's favorite color was, and it just blew my mind that, you know, there's colors out there that I had to even look up, if we're going to be honest, because I just haven't heard of them. They're just different shades of basic colors, but I think it's awesome how people vary so much. So I've placed 5 loops on either side. Now what we'll do is we'll do the same thing where we're going to pull our wire to one side and pull it through. Like that. Now that it's relatively tight, we're not going to lose any of our loops. We can come back in and either wrap it around and tie it, or just tie it like we did before. Whatever's easiest for you. But this wire is incredibly heavy duty, I've come to find out. It holds up very nicely. So now what we can do is fluff it open just by pulling apart the loops. Like I said, no matter how high quality your ribbon is, your bow's not going to look as beautiful as you want it to be unless you run your fingers through the loops and the tails and fluff it. This is the most important part to creating a beautiful bow. And I mean, look at that. It took us, what, a minute to create? And of course, if it's your first bow, definitely practice and give it some time, because it's very easy. Don't put too much thought into it. I use the Bowdabra a little bit different than everybody else, but that's just the way everything is. You know, we all find our ways to create things using devices, and whatever works for us to create a beautiful bow, it doesn't matter how we get there as long as we get there. So look at that. Give some hearts if you think that's beautiful.
Joyce asked, where did you get the bow maker?
So I picked mine up probably about 6 years ago at Christmas time, because I make a lot of fresh Christmas wreaths. So I picked it up about 6 years ago at Joann's, and I used my 50% off coupon. But it looks like Chrissy just said Hobby Lobby has them for $14.99, and you can use your 40% off, so you can get it for $10. And it's basically a third hand, so it's amazing. It makes bow making so much easier. So I definitely recommend it. All right, let's create one more bow using this beautiful ribbon from Michaels. So to kind of close off my ribbon, I always just take a boutonniere pin or corsage pin and place it in. I have hundreds of these from when I do prom season. So that's what I have found to, you know, keep my ribbon together. But let's cut another piece of our Bowdabra wire, and we'll create one more bow. And then by a show of likes or hearts, let me know if you'd like to see a simple, quick Christmas design. If that's something you'd like to see, incorporating a bow, let me know. But I have a length of wire right here. We're going to place that in our Bowdabra again. I'd love to win either red or gold. Awesome, Michaels has them. Yep, they do. So I placed my wire underneath, and now what we'll do is we'll create a 5-loop bow. So I'm going to cut some tails off. And I'm going to dovetail these ahead of time. So I've just taken both ends, folded them in half. Just like that. And see, there's no wire on this side, but there's wire on the opposing side. We always cut from the non-wired side out towards the wired side. And when you do that, you get a nice dovetail like that. So now I'm going to place the tails inside of my Bowdabra. You can measure them out if you want. And I like to give estimates, but honestly, it's however big or however small you want your bow. Don't be super hung up on the size of my loops. Make it your own. So for starters, we're going to create loops about 6 to 8 inches, depending on how big you want your bow.
Marcy wants to know what kind of wire you're using.
So I'm using Bowdabra wire, if you want to zoom in on that real quick. It comes in a 100-yard spool, and I'll have the links posted for this in the comments section. So we're going to do a matching loop on the other side. And we're going to do that again.
A lot of people said yes to the Christmas design.
Awesome. You got it. So we did 2 on one side. Now we're going to do 2 on the opposing side. So now we have 4 loops. We could do more, or we can create 1 more loop. So we're going to create 1 more loop, and this one's going to be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches shorter than the other ones. Like that. So I'm just going to cut it off here. And just place that back in my Bowdabra. The cool thing about the Bowdabra is that it's kind of built on tension, so it naturally wants to close up on itself with the springs. So like I said, it acts as a third hand, and it keeps all of our ribbon exactly where we put it. Take the wire, feed it through. And pull really, really tight, and now we can take out our bow. You'd love to win red or gold.
How do you know how many loops to make?
So it totally depends on how full you want your bow. The less loops you have, the more open and airy your bow is going to be. So here we only have 5 loops total, so we're using minimal amount of ribbon, yet we're going to have a beautiful bow in the end. So this is kind of a satin finished ribbon. It has wire on it. So we're just going to separate our loops, run our fingers through them. This is what I just do. I just open them up a little bit.
Do you have to twist the ribbon if it has the same sides?
I recommend just getting in the habit of doing that because you're going to deal with a lot more ribbon that has single-sided print than the same on either side. But even this ribbon, you'll notice that there's a glossy side and a satin finish or a flat finish side. I want it to be on the glossy side versus the matte because the other side has the seams on it. But look at that bow. Isn't that a traditional bow that you see at like CVS or Walmart for, $3 to $5 depending on where you get it? Here we made it for about 1 yard or 2 worth of ribbon. And it's homemade. Give some hearts if that's pretty. I love the color of this ribbon. This came from Michaels. I've definitely got it years and years ago. But you could do more loops, you could do less. But let's create a very simple swag, if you will, from a couple of these picks. So here we have a couple picks. These came from Hobby Lobby. They were $1.50 each, originally $3. And we're going to create a small swag using them.
Do you always use wired ribbon?
I only use wired ribbon for artificial designs, and I only use non-wired ribbon for fresh designs, if that makes sense. So if I'm dealing with fresh flowers, I only use non-wired ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these picks, place them together just like that, and come back in with a zip tie. So I'm going to use a zip tie to secure these in place. And again, if you don't mind sharing this video, we greatly appreciate it. We want as many people to be able to make a bow as possible. And hopefully this inspires you and motivates you to create a bow, because it's very easy. And I know a lot of people have difficulty to make them. And I hope that these videos kind of help you out a little bit. So I tighten the zip tie, I cut it off, and now we're going to see if it's stable. That's stable enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up our quick little swag. So just by separating the pine from one side to another. And here we have a very simple swag for $3. Can't beat that anywhere you go. But now let's create a little bow for it. We'll create another bow just so you guys can see. We're going to use this ribbon. This came from Jacobson Floral, and it's one of my favorite ribbons to work with. So to show you guys as many different bows as possible, we're going to create one using this.
Debbie asked, why do you use different ribbon for rearrangements?
So I like the look of unwired ribbon for my fresh designs. I think it looks a little bit nicer than wired ribbon. It's just a personal preference. Everybody has a different method to their madness. So now I'm just going to take some longer tails. These ones are going to be about 24 inches.
Amanda would like to know, where would you put this swag?
This swag can go on a cabinet door. So anywhere that's smaller that you want to jazz up a little bit for Christmas time. You could place this in a bathroom, above your lights, on your wall, on a cabinet door. You could do one of these every other kitchen door, so your cabinets in your kitchen. This would work really nicely. So we're just going to create a simple bow. And like I said, at Christmas time, we're making lots of bows each day. So by doing it using the Bowdabra, it makes it a lot easier, especially with non-wired ribbon. So we'll just continue creating loops until we get the size we want. So that looks like enough for me. Look at how quick that was. It took less than a minute to create. Now we'll pull our wires forward. Tighten it. Pull it through our device. And twist it secure. So I'm just wrapping it around, and now we're gonna create a little slip knot and really secure it. So now we have a little bow that we can attach to our design. So rather than fluff it at this stage, I'm just gonna worry about attaching it, and then we can fluff it afterwards once it's on our wreath, or our swag in this case. So swags are very popular, and they're very easy and inexpensive to create. So by a show of likes, who finds these videos informative? Like I said before, we always love to hear your feedback. And if these videos are helpful, we'll definitely continue doing more of them. And if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see in the future, we're gearing up for Christmas, my favorite time of the year. So we're going to be doing a lot of Christmas designs. Now we can just pull apart the loops. And create a very simple bow. We didn't do a lot of loops on this because we're going to add some decorative picks. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate a few decorations into it to kind of spruce it up. So this is a fun project you could do with kids. You could have the bows pre-made for them, and then they can come back in with some of these ornaments and decorations and kind of spruce it up a little bit. So these picks came from Hobby Lobby. My favorite time of year as well. Me too. As you guys know, I absolutely love Christmas. So I'm just going to cut my stem a little bit short, and rather than ad hoc glue to this, I'm simply going to place it into my design and take the twist ties and just twist them around. So this is a very simple project that anybody can create using minimal amounts of product. So we're going to place one there.
Lisa said, very helpful. Thank you, Nick.
Of course. Now we'll take another one and place it up top. The one thing about these ornaments is I always like to make sure that they're facing forward. I'm a little crazy about things like that, but I'll just take this one and place it underneath. This is something that if you're in a rush to create something, or if you need a simple gift that you have to create quickly, this is something you could just simply throw together. So I'm going to tie it a little bit lower just so that we have a couple anchor points for our ornaments. And then what you can do is also take your tails and kind of tuck them into the design. So we could just take one there and kind of tie it off like that. Take another one, do the same exact process with it, kind of bring it down, and all I'm using is the twist ties to tie the ribbons onto the swag. I find it very easy when you do that, and I like my ribbons to look as though they're incorporated into my design. But what do you guys think of that so far? Now we're going to take a couple of these glittered stems, just break them apart into smaller pieces. These came from Hobby Lobby as well. They were $2 each. I love listening to you talk. Thank you. A lot of people say that I have a voice that puts them to sleep. So I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but we're going to take some of these now and just simply place them in. So creating these swags does not have to be expensive at all. You can create these for, $5 or $6. In total, what we're going to have today is going to only be about $5 or $6 to create. Of course, you're not going to get something outrageously covered in products, but for $5 or $6, I mean, you can't go wrong. You really can't. So now I'm taking some of these and I'm placing them underneath the bow. And then take a couple pieces and have them coming down.
Debbie says so pretty. Donna says beautiful. Carol says gorgeous.
Thank you. Very simple. So we've added only a few elements. We could also come back in with some decorative picks if we wanted to and tuck those in. So just real quick, we could just poke in a couple of those to show you guys as an example. These were 50 or 60 cents each from Hobby Lobby. 99 cents, 50% off, so 50 cents each. You could just take a couple of those. And this is kind of what I mean by incorporating things into our bow. You could wire these in, or if you wanted to, you could have everything just sitting on top of your swag for your own home, and then switch it out for seasons. I know a lot of people don't have storage or enough storage to place these everywhere, so you could very easily just attach everything without hot glue and remove it once you go to switch out your decor. So we have two more ornaments to add.
We have the winner.
We have the winner.
The winner is Amanda McLean. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Amanda. If you message Bowdabra, they'll be more than happy to send you out your choice of ribbon. But let's add two more ornaments. These are some plaid ornaments that we picked up, probably from Hobby Lobby. So we have one there and one here. So very inexpensive to create.
Where do you get the glue, Nick?
So I have a glue skillet. If we want to pan over right here, excuse the mess, we're full swing Christmas, but this is a glue skillet, and what I do is I just take stems and I just dip them in like this. I have a link for that, and I'll post that in the comments section as well if you're interested in these, but this is one of my favorite tools to use, and it gets the job done very easily and very efficiently. So here we have our very simple swag. Give some hearts if you loved that. Very simple, very inexpensive. In total, about $6 or $7 to create this. You could add more, you could do less, you could change things up, the color scheme, and so on and so forth. But there we have a quick swag. And then to show off our bows, we have this bow, which is a very traditional bow that you can pick up at every store for about $3 to $5, but you can make it yourself for about 40, 50 cents. And make it a little bit more beautiful like this versus a store-bought one, which is a little cheaper looking. So we have that bow. We also have another traditional styled bow using some fun, bright, cheery ribbon right here. This is my go-to style. And then lastly, we have our funky bow, which I'll dovetail off camera so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me do that, and have pictures posted of all of these. So I want to thank you guys for watching me today on Bowdabra. I'll be live next Monday as well at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope this taught you guys something new. If you don't mind liking this video and sharing this video, I greatly appreciate your support and your feedback. And if you have any ideas as to what you'd like to see in the future, let me know. That's what I'm here for. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, everyone.